You know what? Yeah, we're gonna roll with it. It's kinda weird to make a video about this at this time because the Calgary Flames have themselves a game in just a few hours. They're playing in Columbus. They are one of the few 12 p.m. PST games because, of course, the NHL had to go out there and schedule a whopping 14 games today. All but 4 NHL teams are gonna be in action, and Calgary's a part of that. So let's dive into this entire article that was published by Rupert McDonald earlier this morning that I thought was absolutely insane. Because Rupert McDonald goes out there and talks about 4 potential trade destinations for Calgary Flames goalie Dan Vladar. There are still some months to go before the 2025 trade deadline, but many players are already starting to be discussed as potential candidates to be moved. Of the many who have been discussed as of late is Calgary Flames goaltender Dan Vladar, who is expected to becoming a UFA at season's end. Now, there's a lot of context here that we have to dive into because Dan Vladar has had a pretty interesting career so far with the Calgary Flames organization. Initially drafted by Boston back in 2015, he was eventually sent over to the Calgary Flames organization in a regular old run-of-the-mill trade. Vladar was progressing with the AHL's Providence Bruins in a pretty great capacity. He had a .936 save percentage in 2019-20 and a .923 save percentage the year after that. Wasn't really able to make it all work with the Boston Bruins, but it was still looking good in the Providence system. Eventually, after getting sent over to Calgary, he had a few years of meh play, posting up back-to-back sub-900 save percentage point seasons. But this year, Dan Vladar has a .905 save percentage and a .259 goals against. It is the lowest goals against of his NHL career, and he's done so in 11 games with 1 shutout. The Calgary Flames gave Vladar the opportunity to being that guy this season, but the unfortunate part about that is there's another young up-and-comer that has really taken over a stranglehold on that spot. It is none other than Dustin Wolf, whose .921 save percentage as a rookie this year as an undersized 7th-round goaltender has been making waves across Alberta as a potential superstar goalie to be. He's small, he was a late-round pick, there were so many things going against the profile of Dustin Wolf that the fact that this rookie season of his has started out as well as it has with a .921 save percentage is absolutely astounding production. You can't go out there and take away from what Dustin Wolf has been able to accomplish. But as a result, the pending UFA Dan Vladar is in a pretty rough spot considering his future with the Calgary Flames and whether or not he will be able to make as much money as he would want to. It's why the article goes out there and writes this, that Vladar, who is back to full health after undergoing hip surgery last season, has performed admirably in a tandem role with Dustin Wolf. As such, he has gained some trade value after seemingly having none last season. With the Flames already having insurance in the AHL and Devin Cooley, moving Dan Vladar seems like a no-brainer, and there are a number of teams who could really benefit from acquiring him. Here's a look at 4 that serve as excellent fits. Now, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go dive into Rupert McDonald's article yourself to read about the other 3 teams, but I wanted to skip to the very end past the first 3 and dive into the final conversation here. The Edmonton Oilers. As everyone knows, the Oilers are a team that desperately needs help between the pipes. However, as everyone also knows, the Flames and the Oilers have perhaps the biggest rivalry in the NHL. As a result, it's not unheard of, but quite unlikely to see them make deals with one another. Should Oilers management decide to address their goaltending, Vladar would be an option that makes sense as they too have very limited cap space. That said, he may cost the Oilers more than any other team in the NHL, given the history between the 2 organizations. And just in case you needed the scoop, Dan Vladar is making $2.2 million a year this year. Not significant, definitely not cheap, but certainly not in the overpaid territory. I mean, he's playing alright, right? There really isn't any reason to dive into him and rip him apart from the numbers. The Flames have very little reason to keep Vladar, it writes at the bottom. As impressive as he's been in the tandem with Wolf, management would be better off capitalizing on his value sooner rather than later. After all, his history in the NHL isn't great, so it remains to be seen whether this stretch of play is what he truly is, or if he's simply just riding a bit of a hot streak. Should a decent offer come their way, fans should expect to see Vladar on the move. Is this really something we could see? Could we dive into Dan Vladar and his potential future in the NHL being in Edmonton? Is there a realistic opportunity for Vladar to go over to the Oilers? Now, if you head over to Edmonton and their situation, yeah, Stuart Skinner has been really, really bad this year. There's nothing to like about Stuart Skinner and the way he has played the game. He has himself a whopping 8.82 save percentage in 15 games played and a 3.23 goals against. Kyle Pickard, the backup, he's doing all right. I mean, he's got an 8.93 save percentage, which, okay, that's also pretty bad. But he has a 2.44 goals against, so he actually is keeping the puck out of the net game by game compared to Stu Skinner. The Oilers' goaltending has been a problem this year. And Dan Vladar, as I was about to say a subpar backup. He's not really subpar. He's just kind of not as good as the rookie goalie in Dustin Wolf. You have yourselves a guy in Vladar who, as a backup, is doing some really good things, and he's putting himself in great positions to win. He's been riding the coattails of a good Calgary Flames team. They're building momentum. They're going streaking. And ultimately, Vladar is walking out of this situation with a very high save percentage compared to what he's done in the past, and an extremely high save percentage compared to the other two Oilers goaltenders. So is there a world where James Neal, Milan Lucic, Mike Smith, this story repeats itself and we see yet another swap and another player go from Calgary to Edmonton? I don't know. We'll see. Is it possible? Mike Smith was the last one. Dan Vladar, is he next? Mikko Koskinen should have been next in line there, to be honest. Okay, no, I'm just kind of memeing around here with Alberta goaltenders of the past. But if you're a Calgary Flames fan, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you actually agree with this idea? You've got Devin Cooley chilling in the system. You've got Dustin Wolf proving that he is all that. Do you trade away Dan Vladar? Is this an opportunity to dive into headfirst because of the success your team has had so far in this season? And what is it that you would want in exchange for Vladar and his services? You gotta remember the Flames traded away, I think it was a third-round pick to get Vladar in the first place back in 2021. Yeah, that's exactly what it was, a 2022 third-round pick. So if you trade Vladar away for anything more than that, let's say a second or a prospect that's actually valuable or something else, if there is some sort of a deal like that, then you would be getting a positive return on your investment. What do you think it is that makes this deal work for you, and what do you think the Edmonton Oilers have that you could actually say yes to? Is there more of a deterrence to making this kind of a deal because it is Edmonton, or because it's Edmonton, do you not really care? Do you just say, okay, yeah, your goaltending sucks here. We pity you guys. Take on a goaltender of ours because he's much better than what you got in Skinner and Pickard. Do you think that's sort of the mindset here from the Calgary perspective in this trade? Or do you not even think about it? Does it not matter for the Calgary Flames to be like, yeah, we're trading with Edmonton, so what? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think a deal like this looks like? And if you're an Oilers fan, what are your thoughts on acquiring somebody like Dan Vladar? Is this something you'd even be interested in? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.